I got my good buddy here, Adam Jaco with Jaco's Boxing. What's going on, Adam?
Not, brother. How you been?
I'm doing good,
Good,
man.
man.
So,
Good to see you.
yeah,
Well,
good
you
to
haven't
have
been
you.
in the gym lately.
But I no doubt I was in my best shape of my life when I was working out with you.
It's
So
hard not to be.
I know I did get hurt a little bit. You know how
Yeah,
that
that's
goes.
that's
So,
part of
but
the.
I actually feel good now,
Good.
and there's no excuse not to be
Well,
in.
then get
So
back in
I
there.
will. I will.
Is it dry January for you, by the way?
It's dry-ish. I mean,
I'm going dry January till my birthday in March.
all
I'll
right.
be 49, so I gotta look good.
What's your March what?
9?
I'm March 4th.
Happy birthday,
Yes,
bro.
couple Pisces,
Yeah,
right?
yes, sir.
We're sensitive,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Your gym is iconic locally. Everybody knows Jaco's Boxing,
Yes.
and you've been around for a long time. You opened up your doors in 2007.
I did, and my first location,
Okay.
and incorporated, and I
Yeah.
did have a gym before that. It was a training place for my brother and I. But in '06, I incorporated. '07 incorporated and started training people.
So for people that aren't familiar with Jaco's, you want to just tell a little bit about what's it like when people come and what kind of classes and what's
Yeah.
the whole story about
I
it?
mean, it's a full scale boxing gym. However, we have everything you would need fitness from sleds. We have 6 of them, treadmills, row machines, ski ergs. But you get an authentic boxing workout. And I try and tell people there's nothing in that gym I will make you do that I was unwilling to do as a fighter. So you get that authentic experience. And what I really mostly love to make sure I express to people is it's authentic in the sense that you're being trained by fighters. I was a professional fighter. Young man below me, EJ's a professional fighter. I have a female, Bella. She's one of my amateur boxers. And of course, I got a couple other people, but we all have combat experience. And so you're not going to a place where someone picked up a set of mitts, did a YouTube video, and it can't be replicated. If you've never fought before, you can't replicate that rhythm. And so it is an authentic experience all the way down to even if you want to spar. However, most people don't. However, that's something you want to do. You've done it.
Yeah.
And so it's a good time. And so you get to really experience what it's like to be a fighter. And it's a fun
Like
atmosphere.
I could go like 1 minute. I was just exhausted.
Yeah, people have no
You
clue
have no
how
idea
difficult it
how
is. Say
hard it
it
is.
looks really
And
easy
you
on
went
TV.
really light on me. So that was nice of you. I
You're welcome.
appreciate
I liked
that,
you,
yeah.
Greg.
But I do love and I miss like when you're catching mitts,
Yeah.
and you just get in that rhythm. You'll do a circuit, and when you get to catching mitts, it's the best part. You just
That's
get excited.
everyone's. That's the highlight, of course. And the cool thing about that, that's authentic all the way down to the way I train my fighters.
Mhm.
I only know one way how to do this. So when you get in that ring and you're experiencing that, it's the exact experience that EJ's experiencing, or our guy Reyes or Nico or some of my amateur fighters. You're learning just as they would learn as well.
So break it down as far as like, so you have your fitness classes, you have kids classes,
Mhm.
right? That you have your actual fighters that you're training,
Yeah.
and then I think you do some like
We
special needs.
We
Parkinson's
cover
and-
everything.
Mhm.
We have a youth program for kids ages 8 to 14
Mhm.
on a fitness level. Then we have a program for
And what a great thing for kids, though.
yeah,
too,
it's
right? I
awesome,
mean,
man.
like,
It's
just-
great. And EJ runs that program. He's great with the kids. He started with me when he was 8. He's now going to be 24 this year. Crazy enough. That's a 16-year relationship that, holy cow.
and everybody's just seen EJ grow from
Yeah,
he's
they
been at
see
the
it.
gym so long, and now
Yeah,
he's
no,
like,
he's
what's his
He
record
was
now?
picking his nose and pooping his pants. You know? Now he's a young man with girlfriends and, got his own apartment. That was the big move a couple years ago. And funny story about that. He's like, hey, Adam, will you help me move? Oh, yeah, bro. I've been there before. Young man don't want to hire movers.
Yeah.
And we carry up this huge dresser. I'm on one end. I'm 48 years old. Him and his brother, who plays college football, on the other end of this dresser. We go 3 stories. He takes us up the wrong building. I could have killed him. I was like, are you kidding? You don't even know where you live? We're in the wrong unit. And I was like, wow. So, yeah, so he does great. And then we have a program for actual fighters. Most of them are high school age.
Mhm.
We have a program for people with Parkinson's. We've had several people well into their 90s train with us, and that's an awesome program. I love that. That's probably my most favorite hour. We do that 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Everyone is welcome at our gym to train, whether you have zero experience or you a former professional fighter. Everyone's welcome in our
You
facility.
really get that, and you do get
Yeah,
a
we
sense
do.
of, it's so welcoming, and everybody's at a different level.
Of course.
You know, I try not to show people up when I'm hitting the mitts, but I do occasionally.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you know
in
what
your
I mean?
southpaw, I mean, you're
Yes,
special.
so-
Right? You're special.
My mom thinks so. And you grew up here in Sarasota, right?
Since the 6th grade, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. My father
Gotcha.
took custody, my brother and I, and we started going to Brookside, graduated at Sarasota High, and I've never left or had any desire to leave.
Yeah, and boxing's always, of course, been in your blood. Your dad's this like amazing fighter, has a great story. I mean, he's fought some.
Yeah, my
huge-
dad fought Mike Tyson, George Foreman, Tommy Morrison. He fought 10 world champions in his career.
Wow.
In the late 80s, early 90s, Budweiser would put out the top 25 fighters in every weight class. Every month, there was anywhere between 20 to 23 guys I would circle. My dad fought them all. Boxing enthusiasts, they would know all the names, you know, that a lot of people wouldn't recognize. But the top 25 in the 80s and 90s, my dad fought them all.
He was like, what is it, like 6'5", 6'6"?
He's 6'6".
Yeah.
At his peak, he was like 6'6", 220. That was
Okay.
his best weight, I think, 6'6", 220. Yeah,
I saw this great interview about him when he got inducted to the Hall of Fame in Florida, and he would, I guess his thing was he would take a fight on a day's notice, right?
Oh, yeah,
And he's like, I got 2 boys I got to take care of, and I got to put food on the table, so I'll fight anybody, anytime. I was like, man, that is
Yeah,
amazing.
and you know, in the late 80s, early 90s, you know, 5 to 10 grand, you know, in a quick pop like that, it was huge for us. So my dad, he had no fear. I will give him that. He just, yeah, let's do
That's what
it.
he said, because
He's just-
I'll fight anybody.
yeah,
he said.
and I think he had a spring in his ass because he'd get knocked down and just pop.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Stay down.
Stay down, Pop.
Did you go to his fights, or you watch? him
No,
on
we
TV,
really
or-
didn't a whole lot until my first fight I witnessed. My dad fought in Orlando. I was in 6th grade. I remember being super nervous. So was my brother. We couldn't eat. I remember sitting down to eat in the hotel, and I think my dad ordered a spaghetti dinner, and me and my brother were both like nerved up and couldn't eat. And I remember talking with the other guy's trainer. And he goes, "Your dad beat Razor Ruddock. Don't worry." He's like, "Your dad's gonna be okay, guys."
Yeah, that's
And
huge.
my dad TKO'd the guy in the 2nd round, and that was my first experience. I saw a few more fights after that, and then my dad's career was kind of taking off again. He was on a little bit of a comeback streak, and started fighting in Vegas again, overseas, China. His final fight, I was a senior in high school, and he was gone for like 2 months in China because the main event guy got cut. My dad was over there on a goodwill tour with Muhammad Ali. And so my grandmother had to come to Florida and kind of watch over me and my brother for a while. It was kind of a wild ride. And my sister was just born. And yeah, it was crazy. But my dad, he did what it took to you know, provide for us. And a lot of times pretty unconventional, but he made it work. And so it was a pretty interesting upbringing for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you learned a lot from him.
And, you know, we'd go in the backyard, and my dad would bring people over. He started training people. I'm gonna find a world champion. Me and my brother would just be beating the hell out of grown men. You know, we're in 9th grade, 10th grade, and I kept thinking, Dad, you're looking at your next 2 world champions.
Yeah.
You know, and he didn't want us to fight, and we finally convinced him. Finally in high school, like, yo, let us fight. You know, we can do this.
So you have a twin brother, right?
Yep.
He owns his own gym. Aaron,
Yep.
he's very successful as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and you guys are super tight.
Yeah.
And so you both were on that circuit then, and so tell me
Yeah.
a little bit about that. Like, so what was your boxing career like before this?
I mean, it was good. In amateurs, we were highly touted. We won 9 state titles together. Aaron is a super middleweight. I was a light heavy. And instantly, both of us signed a 6-fight deal with Oscar De La Hoya's promotions. However, things take turns for the world. At times, you're throwing a curveball. I won my pro debut, my 2nd fight, which was actually my first fight under contract with De La Hoya. I dislocated my shoulder. And basically, in boxing, 1-1 is you are used up commodity, and that contract was pretty much done. And I got a harsh reality of what sports and business can be like. And my brother went on to do super well. I think went up to maybe 13-0 before his first loss. I struggled with injuries nonstop, but nonetheless put together a pretty good run at the end of my career. That's when you first probably start coming around the gym, and end up fighting the IBO light heavyweight champ, and I got knocked out in the 5th round, TKO'd, and I had one more fight after that for the Florida State title against Jose Alonso. Jose, good buddy of mine now. Didn't like each other then. I mean, he's a good guy. We liked each other, but we didn't then, and we see each other all the time and give each other mad props. But I lost a split decision to him for the Florida State title. My son had just been born. He was in the NICU.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a preemie. He was in there for a few weeks. He came home the day before my fight. And at that point, I was like, I've had enough.
Okay.
I'm ready to move on in business, be a father, a husband. And I called it the day. My brother continued on for a while. I think he had 25 or so pro fights. And but it was fun, man. I met a lot of cool people, a lot of cool stories. And, of course, it led me to do what I do now and have some credibility behind my name.
Yeah.
You know? And so I'm forever grateful for that.
I think you were saying before you opened your gym, though, like you got hurt, you're realizing, hey, I got to make some money. What were you doing before you opened?
My brother and I were pool contractors with a third partner, and we were doing well. We were making good money. It was hard work, but it taught us a lot as well. I mean, you know, how to use your hands, how to build things, how to persevere. I mean, some days are tough. You know, you blow out a tire on your dually, and you got concrete on the way. You got to get it done. That concrete's paid for, and you got to get things done. However, the recession hit, and we went from making a whole lot of money to nothing. And you know, I had about $30,000 saved up at that point, and there's only one other thing I think I can do here and make some money. And I went all in on the Lawton Drive location where I'm still at, which we just passed 16 years in that location. And I think I spent down to the last dollar of that 30 grand. And I remember telling my now ex-wife, but my girlfriend at the time, said, I'm going to be sleeping on a cot at the Salvation Army if this doesn't work. And the business blossomed. Of course, I was all in, so I had no choice.
Were you thinking about opening up for a while and then?
Yeah, it always crossed my mind. I kind of thought as a young man, I remember being in my early 20s going, man, I'm always going to be involved with boxing. Right now, I'm a fighter, but I can totally see this evolving in me being a trainer. And I think at that age, it's like, I'm going to train fighters and this and that. However, once you enter the business, you realize 1% of the fighters make 99% of the money. 99% of the fighters make 1% of the money. There's not a whole lot of money to be made as a trainer to a fighter unless you hit
make
that
a living,
ticket.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and so
I
realized once I was actually a fighter, going, man, you don't make a whole lot of money doing this.
Yeah.
I went, man, people love doing this on the fitness side of things, though. And I went, that's going to be my niche market, is these people who are, you know, moms and lawyers and doctors and business people who always had a fascination with boxing, would love to experience something like this. And at that point, I think there was one other gym in town, Tony Spain, one of my old trainers. He had started it, and so there wasn't a whole lot of competition. It was kind of like a new thing. So
it is like a new thing back then.
Yeah.
And you see a lot more now, of course, but not like run by actual boxers.
Right. So when I opened that up, that business just exploded. I mean, it was unbelievable.
How was it first couple months for you?
Well, the first couple months is scary. I mean, I'm barely making it by, driving an old beat up pickup I bought for $2,500 and from my buddy Brian Wells, and go, man, please, this needs to work. And but I'm telling you, Pacitti was something wild. I think when you have that much passion and you need to succeed so badly, what you're capable of doing. And I, pulling some major hours. I remember opening the building at Lawton Drive. It was an old storage unit for storage, and it was all with chain link fence. I remember ripping that out of the concrete and carrying them chain link fences outside. And then I had to drywall. That was nothing but insulation. You've been in there. I had to drywall that whole thing. It took me about 6 weeks. So I'm also
all the work.
Yeah, I did all the work. And I remember I left an old dirty ass mattress in the room, and I would take naps in between, like working late nights into midnight 1 a.m. And I lay down on this mattress going, oh God, this mattress is disgusting, but I can't sleep on the floor. But it took about 6 weeks to build it enough to open it up. And then I was just praying. I littered the town with signs. Of course, in the counties call me, can't put signs here and there. And,
no social media then, right?
Yeah, the social media wasn't like it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook was, at that point, was not like Instagram. Everyone's on Instagram or Snapchat, and nothing like that was relevant. So you had to do a lot of, grassroots marketing.
Right.
And, man, but it worked. In 3 months, I was making a ton of money. And it was like, Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, thank goodness.
In the early days, 'cause I know you have like different packages now, and you can do a monthly membership. Was it any membership, or was it just a pay as you go kind of thing?
There was memberships, a monthly membership, and then
Okay.
if you wanted to do a little a la carte and do some private training, I offered that as well.
Okay.
Since then, it's morphed, and we have different programs and different price points, and you figure those kind of things out as you move along the business. Of course, I'd never done this before, and I didn't really have a template to work with, so things have changed and shifted over the years, as well as the training has. It was nothing but boxing when you first came to me.
Okay.
Well, since then, I've put in a turf track that goes around the gym. I got sleds and treadmills and row machines. Boxing's great. I love lifting weights as well. However, if I did that every day, it's kind of the monotony. So you're constantly evolving and changing up the workouts and keeping things interesting. And I think 19 years now in this business, I think my longevity speaks volumes on the way I've been able to do that and move and change things up enough to keep people interested.
Yeah.
You still stop by the gym. I have several clients that have been there since the day I've opened that door. And so that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it really is like the community. And people, you make a lot of friends there. And
I can tell you this, Pacitti, I'll go places and people go, Jaco? You're one of the Jaco brothers. And they know the name, but they couldn't tell you who I look like. No, my friend does this with you. And I tell everyone, in this town, you either train with my brother or you train with me. It's one or the other.
Right.
And so.
And most won't know the difference, right, when they see you.
No,
Like, I hear it. Adam. No, it's Adam.
I answered both. Hey, Aaron, what's I remember doing when I retired, I was doing a lot of running, doing all the local races, and I could move. I was down in that low sixes, and so I'd always be out towards the front on a turnaround. People were like, get him, Aaron! Like, oh, Adam! Just keep running. In case you hear Adam, I'd go. I called my brother. I go, does anyone know I got a twin brother like that? I'm Adam, and he's like, I always wonder the same thing because everyone's always like, hey, Adam. So he gets Adams and I get Aaron. So
just go with it.
I just roll with it. I'm Adam, or hey, you keep going.
So did you do most of the training back then? Now you have other trainers and
So I was obviously the head trainer, and then an old friend of mine who had left briefly, Drew, came back into the picture. He's still with me to this day. That's been probably 15 years. Yep. He does a great job for me. I love him to death. He's accountable. And then, of course, EJ came to me as a young boy, 8 years old, and kind of fell into the business with me and was looking to graduate high school and trying to figure out what he wants to do in life, as we probably all do. And I was like, EJ, you have a really huge opportunity here. And we knew at that point he was probably going to turn pro. In 2000, I think it was 22, he wrapped up every single major tournament you could win in the state of Florida. He won the Sugarbird tournament. He won the Bob Nicholson tournament. He won the Golden Glove, which eluded him forever. He won the State Pal. I mean, he won it all that year. He was undoubtedly the number one fighter in the state of Florida at 132 pounds. And it was time to go pro. And so with that, credibility, I thought, EJ, you got a major opportunity here to start a business of your own right here under the the umbrella of Jaco's, and he's done great. I mean, he's really done super well. And then I have a couple other trainers. Bella's been a huge addition to my team. She came from Tony Spain's place after Tony passed away. We get along great, and she's like hanging out with a guy, things that she says. And she's been an awesome addition, especially being female. That helps. And EJ being younger, he kind of appeals to, some of the younger people in the program. And then I've got a couple others that help. And so it's just a great team. Everyone gets along great. They all do their job. And I don't think you can find training like that anywhere else in this town.
The right people in there just make such a difference.
100%.
Right? Like, I mean, you enjoy work. The culture is great.
Pacitti, everyone says, you need to franchise these franchises. You can't franchise us unless you can duplicate the personalities in that gym. It'd be really hard.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it special for sure.
100%.
And
we keep a level of authenticity down to the way we deliver the things we say to people. Like you can tell someone they're not good at doing something in a nice way and say the same exact words and say it in a way they have a good time with it. And I think we've done a good job with that, where we can, everyone's got a nickname in the gym, Pistol. I got a guy today in the gym training with Bell. He's Pistol Pete. That's his name.
Yeah.
Noodles. We got names for everybody, and we have a good time with it.
You do have a good time. I always have a good time.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun to be in the gym. And if you can just get past a little bit of that, I guess, fear of entering the doors of a boxing gym. It's intimidating.
Right.
But once you come through the door, I think everyone has this perception that fighters are these not nice guys. I don't think you can run into nicer guys. You attract that.
What do you think people get out of like coming and learning the boxing versus just going to just a normal gym? For me, it was like, it actually gives you, I felt like a higher level of confidence. Not everybody gets to experience that.
Yeah.
And it's,
well, you know what,
these
big box gyms where you go lift weights and you walk on the treadmill, they're a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. If you can find a place where you go in and the workout is different and it's exciting, and not for nothing, I think boxing's still the hardest workout ever. That's been my New Year's resolution. I've been hitting the bags. Pacitti, I've been so sore. I can't. My pecs hurt.
Yeah.
My triceps hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm going, holy God, I forgot how hard this is. The workout is difficult, and there's a sense of accomplishment. When you leave there, you go, holy cow, it's just in the ring, just banging away on Adam. And I'm working with a tennis pro right now, and he's a coach, and he's just absolutely loving training with me, learning something new, and it's challenging to him. He messes up on the combinations. There's nothing to it to lifting some dumbbells. Sure, you can get strong at it, but that process of learning combinations and how to move and stick punches and slip, I mean, there's something special about it. When you have that interaction with someone, I would compare it to dancing. I've always want to learn to dance. Is something I'm still going to learn to do, but
I was thinking about doing
that. I think it'd be super cool to learn rather than just always sitting on the sideline.
Right.
And you're going to dance. So, I think it's super cool. I would love to take.
I swear, I wrote that as one of my goals this year, and I found a place in Sarasota, and I looked it up, and I was like, I'm gonna call. I'm gonna do it. I haven't done it yet. But
all right. Well, when you do it, I'm gonna do it too. So hit me up and say, I'm doing this. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because I need to learn to dance. Because I have rhythm. It's just some outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And but yeah, there's something about boxing. People are drawn to it. I think a lot of people are drawn to a boxing gym, maybe going through things in their life, and if they somehow find boxing leads them to having more strength, more willpower,
just
helping them get through it.
Too.
Yeah. I mean, I have T-shirts that I sold, and I had to remake them because everyone wanted them. It says boxing. It's like therapy, only cheaper.
Yeah.
And it is. You come in, you hit the bags. And funny enough, when I was fighting, I didn't feel that way. It was a job to me. I was like, man, this is a grind. Now that I'm not fighting, I've been hitting the bags since the new year every day, and it's enjoyable. Like, I'm enjoying it now. It's no longer a job. I'm getting therapy out of it, and it's been good for me for sure. So I totally see how people can go,
yeah,
man, this is therapeutic to me.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about running the gym. What are some things that you think maybe people need to consider or think about, or what's something that you've learned along the way?
I would say you're going to get along with 9 out of 10 people. There's different personalities coming to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be chameleon-like. Not a chameleon that you're going to change the sense of who you are. Try not to involve, tough discussions like politics, things like that. Yeah. And sometimes I can struggle there, but I was passionate about that. But sometimes you can cross that line,
right?
And so you just got to know. I think again, I have fun with that. It's all in the presentation of it and how you say it. However, you got to be careful there. Also, I think people need to remember, don't go out and drink, because in the morning there's a lot of dedicated people that can be at your door at 5:45. You cannot not show up. You have to be there. Also, you can be having a bad day. Let me tell you something though. Gregg Pacitti doesn't come in the gym to get things off his chest, to hear my story and I can relate to him. No, I'm not here for that. Gregg is here to train with me and get things off his chest, and I need to be there for him. That's what he's paying for me. So I always tell the trainers, don't relate to him. Let them talk. Let them talk or bang away on you. They're there for therapy right now. And that can be tough. And I mean, I've been through some tough times in the last 5 years, as a lot of people know. And I still had to wake up and make it to the gym. And funny enough, I remember go a couple hours, catch and miss with people. And Pacitti, I'm telling you, I don't remember a single combination because my mind was somewhere else, thinking about my life. And I've actually apologized to those people. And they're like, oh, we could tell you, but every one of them, like, we appreciate you so much, though. You
showed up.
Canceled. You were there for us. You gave us a great workout. We could see you missed some of the small little things we might have said to you and never responded. And But I did apologize to a few people. Like, man, thank you so much for sticking with me.
Well,
Yeah, the business is tough, and you got to get up every morning.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 19 years, but some mornings you are a little tired, and you go, man, another day of this. But ultimately, I'm blessed to do what I do. Man, I have a good time with people. It's my passion. I don't see me doing anything else, until I basically can't hold another punch. And even then, I think if someone else kind of takes over as a league trainer, I'm always going to be involved in my boxing gym, obviously. So I love it. I had some young girls in the gym last night, and they go, "So are you the Jaco?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the Jaco." So, but it's cool.
Your brother's like, "No, I'm the Jaco."
Yeah, but it's hard. I mean, let's face it. To this day, I still pride myself in this. I still clean the toilets. I still clean the showers. I have no problem grinding it out, working alongside you. I still believe in cost efficiency. If there's a ballast that's going out in the bulb, I'm going to change it because I know how to do it. I'm not going to work an hour so I can pay someone else an hour worth of wages to take care of that for me. I'll make time. I get up there. It'll take me 30 minutes. I take care of a lot of things like that. That's not always easy, and some people don't have that skill set. So those kind of things can be difficult. I built out my gym. That would have probably been $100,000 build out, especially the other side with the yoga studio, probably more. I did that for the cost of materials, which probably ran me close to 50 grand, the yoga studio and the flooring and everything I had to put in. But it's not easy, and you're going to have good months, bad months. It's an up and down affair. And ultimately, you just got to stay with it and every day just show up. You're going to break through, and at the end of the day, hopefully you got more green days than red days.
Right.
And that's the way you got to look at it and just go, okay, today the AC wasn't working in the gym. I'm going, what the heck is going on? This is great. There's a $500 to $1,000 bill coming to maintenance this thing. I got up there, realized the condensation line was all backed up, ripped it out, took it outside, hosed it clean, sprayed it down with bleach, turned the AC back on, flipped a couple breakers, started running cold. I was like, good. Thank goodness I can do that kind of stuff. But it's a grind sometimes. Right? You just walk in and just go, my goodness, like.
Never ending.
Yeah, right? It does. So the list seems never ending. That's for sure. You're always, and I keep a list. I'm a list maker. I have a priority list, back burner list. And then of course, I highly believe in reinvesting in your business. I just wrapped 8 of the bags with new wraps and really nice. I put down brand new flooring in the office area. But you got to reinvest in your company. You just can't build something and go, okay, I'm done. No, you better reinvest.
That's such a good point. Yeah, you have to, or it just starts deteriorating.
Yeah, and sometimes you go, damn it, I had this net profit. However,
you could go spend it. But
could
take a nicer cruise.
Long term, it's the right thing to do. It's going to only pay back, double fold.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that your kids have kind of grown up in that gym too, so that it's always been like a family run type of environment, and lots of kids running around. Like people bring their kids and they're just having a blast. They're not just on their iPads or whatever. They're actually like running around and going in the ring, and you have a nice ring in the middle that you utilize. It is so welcoming.
We make sure we roll out the red carpet for people, and I wrap so many hands, Greg, and you can feel them trembling. And I go, hey man, relax, we got you, guys and girls. You can feel they're intimidated a little bit, they're nervous. And I love when they always go, by the way, I've never done this before. And I go, wonderful. We're here to teach.
That's awesome.
And I don't have to undo something that perhaps your old trainer did. Or I make them feel super comfortable. Like so many guys, I think, feel intimidated that they don't know how to throw a punch to save their life. I go, great. I'm going to teach you. No problem. I'm here to teach. And I love coaching. And so
you do a lot of nice things too for the community. Correct. You do the toy drive every year.
Yes.
Jaco's versus autism, Jaco's versus Parkinson. You're always doing events and things like that. Yeah. And what are you most proud of about your gym?
I think of how much we give back to the community and how much people recognize us, and whether I'm doing it with someone. I mean, Andrea Capek, she's the one who every year she comes to me. She's the one who organizes the toy drive. However, if she can use my gym as a platform to do it, which I'm all in. Like, I mean, I think everyone in life should have a purpose outside of themselves. And if you don't, like, what are you doing really? Ultimately, give back. What's gonna be your impression you leave on people? When we talk about legacy, I'm not so concerned about boxing legacy and this and that. I would love if 10,000 people showed up at my funeral and went, man, this is just one great dude. I want them to play Kickstart My Heart, put my ashes in a bottle rocket and light it off. And on Siesta Beach, and have a party then. Don't cry over me.
Right.
My life's been good. And so, but I want 10,000 people there. I think if you can have that kind of impact on people, not to mention young men, the amount of young men I've trained in the gym, several have gone on to be dads who are solely taking care of the children. That speaks volumes to me how you are as a father. I don't want to hear that you're not dealing with your children. And I think we touched on this a little bit earlier. Everyone's got these resumes and I've done this and that. Show me your children. And I got that from a friend of mine, Dom, and that's one of his things. What are your children like? That's your ultimate resume. And if you speak with my children, they're involved in the gym. They're every day. Josh was there at 5 pounds, preemie baby, a few weeks out of the NICU. Then I think 2 weeks he was in the gym. And so their whole life existence, they know Lawton Drive, and everyone knows them. And I feel like they've got 50 uncles and aunts, and they get gifts from them, and then they're selling cookies now. That's their big thing. All the holiday parties, they bake cookies, and which is super cool. My son, I was always buying the products, and then he was selling the cookies, him and his sister making the money. And the last time we went to do it, my son goes, Dad, I'm buying it. And I'm like, no, Josh, don't worry about it. He goes, no, Dad, I need to know if this is truly profitable. I mean, he's only 13 at the time, and I'm going, oh, God, this is super cool. So we go to Publix, and he picks out this icing that you squeeze, but it's like $5 a tube. And I go, Josh, if you buy the icing that you got to put on with the knife, it's like $1.50, and you're doing like 4 or 5 colors. We're looking at $25 as opposed to like $7-8. He's like, yeah, let's go there. And so he paid for it all up front, and then he asked me, he goes, Dad, since I paid for it up front, but Katie is getting half the money for selling, like, how do we split that? I go, well, you're going to get your initial money back, and then after that, you guys split a 50-50 profit if there's a profit to be made. And he was so intent that he had to pay for it. And of course, they made a good amount of money. And I think they ended up splitting about $100 profit. But it was a cool experience. And I love the fact that my son was not going to allow me to. He's like, no, of course I make money then, Dad. You're the one who shelled out for it. And so his mindset works a little bit like mine. And but yeah,
proud dad moment.
Yeah, it was. I was like, this is cool. Good, yeah. I think my proudest moment was the one time I was sitting at my house. He goes, hey, Surrey, play Guns N' Roses, Paradise City. I was like, oh, this is fun too. I'm a GNR.
Yeah. So what's your hope for Jaco's the next decade? What are you hoping to accomplish?
I hope to stay where I'm at. I love my landlord. He's been good to me. I've been good to him. I've anchored that whole unit for going on our 17th year, and we have a very good mutual respect for each other. I love to see EJ and Bella continue to build their clientele base and make a ton of money as well. I love seeing them make money, and I would like to see me slow it down a little bit. I'm at a point now where I'm going into my 20th year of this, and next year my son will be in high school, and I'd like to take a little time to be with my family. But so let me slow down just a little bit. I've worked hard, and I've done well enough to where I think it's time for me to dial it back a bit, continue to grow the name, to be known, to be relevant in the community, and keep doing what we're doing. It's not broken, that's for certain. I mean, we continuously had more clients, new clients coming in. And I think with the addition of Bella and EJ a few years prior to that, the next 10 to 20 years looks pretty good for us. I'm pretty happy.
Sure, you'll be able to do a lot of good and build up that 10,000, amount of people to come to your funeral down the road. Yeah. You do a lot of good, and that's the key. Like you're blessed with talent and blessed with a great business, and it's like, what are you gonna do with that business, right? What good can you spread from that? And I think you have that great mindset for that, and that's the way to go. What advice would you say to someone who's on the fence about opening up their own business?
I would tell them be certain about what they want to do. If you don't like waking up early in the morning, don't be a personal trainer. Don't open up a donut shop. Be realistic.
Don't do it just for the money, right?
Yeah, it's like you gotta have a passion. If you can have a passion for it, that's obviously super helpful. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think people are very passionate about things that don't make them any money. That's problematic as well. At the end of the day, we all have to make money. You're in it for the money. Well, yeah, we all are. We all want to make money. We all want to take care of our children. You're going to go through ups and downs, and but to stay grinding on it, it'll be tears. I've cried plenty of days, man, where I'm just going, man, when I was building out that gym, I was exhausted. I remember building out the yoga studio, and I was training for a fight, and just remember being so exhausted. And it was in November, and I got through that fight and finished the yoga studio out, and we opened up when I said we would open. But there were some late nights there where I was like in tears going, I don't know if I'm going to make it, and I've got to train for this fight. I'm already emotionally worked up, but it's a grind, running your own business. It's real simple to go work for someone, but you're going to run into a lot of things, paying insurance, paying the bills, paying this, paying that, not paying yourself sometimes. Those are difficult weeks. However, if I think you put your heart and soul into it and all your passion, it's hard not to succeed. But you got to be willing to go through some tough times. And I think if you've almost hit rock bottom and you can climb out of that, there's no way you can lose. There's just no way. And I think that's everywhere in life. I tell everyone this, and I tell my fighters this, because most of them aren't going to go on to have professional careers or make millions of dollars. I tell them all the time, well, man, he's so lucky. He won this fight and won that fight. And I always go, you guys keep calling him lucky. But he also seems to be the hardest working guy in the gym. And I always tell them, guys, boxing's going to teach you more about life than it'll teach you about boxing. I'll say that till I die. And it's true, every which way. The hardest working guys, most successful. Boxing's hard. Life is hard. You'll have wins. You'll have losses. Are you going to get up? What are you going to do? I mean, there's so much in boxing related to life. 100%. I mean, if you can come in that gym and box and get past the fears of walking into an intimidating place, I think you can accomplish anything. You do.
Nice. Oh, man. Been a pleasure.
Hey, man. Appreciate it.
I'm going to be back in your gym on this weekend. Then
and don't be right now, you're Big City. I can come up with other names. Trust me.
All right.
I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care. All right.